Zohran Mamdani was elected mayor of New York City on Tuesday, capping a stunning ascent for the 34-year-old state lawmaker, who was set to become the city's most liberal mayor in generations. "Over the past 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater," he said to his supporters in Brooklyn following his win. "Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands." In a victory for the Democratic Party's progressive wing, Mamdani defeated former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. Mamdani must now navigate the unending demands of America's biggest city and deliver on ambitious, skeptics say unrealistic, campaign promises. With the victory, the self-described democratic socialist will etch his place in history as the city's first Muslim mayor, the first of South Asian heritage and the first born in Africa. He will also become the city's youngest mayor in more than a century when he takes office on January 1st. "New York City, breathe this moment in," Mamdani said. "We are breathing in the air of a city that has been reborn." He added, "Hope is alive, hope over tyranny. Hope over big money and small ideas. Hope over despair. We won because New Yorkers allowed themselves to hope that the impossible could be made possible." Just after he was projected as the winner, Mamdani's account on the social media platform X posted a video of a subway train pulling up to City Hall station, with an announcement that said, "The next and last stop is City Hall." Mamdani's unlikely rise gives credence to Democrats who have urged the party to embrace more progressive, left-wing candidates instead of rallying behind centrists in hopes of winning back swing voters who have abandoned the party. He has already faced scrutiny from national Republicans, including President Donald Trump, who have eagerly cast him as a threat and the face of what they say is a more radical Democratic Party. Huge voter turnout. More than 2 million people voted in New York City's mayoral election, according to the city's Board of Elections, the strongest turnout since 1969. The campaign laid bare the Democratic Party's generational and ideological divides as it seeks to rehabilitate its damaged brand. Mamdani managed to energize progressives to score a surprise victory in the Democratic primary over Cuomo, the once powerful former governor, with a campaign that focused on lowering the cost of living in one of the country's most expensive cities. A man and woman stand side by side near a polling station. Zohran Mamdani and his wife Rama Sarwaf-Dawaji voted together earlier on Tuesday. Olga Fedorova, The Associated Press. He generated national buzz and won endorsements from big-name progressives, including U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders and U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. His campaign promises included raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and using the money to make city buses free and provide free, universal child care. He has also promised to freeze rent for people living in about 1 million rent-regulated apartments. How Zohran Mamdani is reshaping New York's mayoral race. Zohran Mamdani is shaking up New York's mayoral race with a socialist platform that includes rent control and public transportation. The frontrunner's message is drawing both support and backlash from the city's financial elite, including the U.S. president. But not everyone embraced the 34-year-old assemblyman. Mamdani's past criticism of the city's police department and the Israeli government's military actions in Gaza, which he has called genocidal, have unnerved some centrists who see him as a potential setback in their effort to broaden the party's national appeal. Some Jewish leaders have also seized on his refusal to support Israel as a Jewish state, calling him a danger to Jews. While Mamdani has distanced himself from some of his past rhetoric on policing, some top New York Democrats remain concerned and have either been slow to endorse him or outright refused to. Trump has also threatened to take over the city if Mamdani wins, as well as arrest and deport the state assembly member, who was born in Uganda but is a U.S. citizen. Man in light blue striped jacket. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo voted in Manhattan Tuesday. Brendan McDermott, Reuters. Trump reluctantly endorsed Cuomo on the eve of the election, saying Mamdani would bring disaster to the city and encouraging Republican Curtis Sliwa backers to vote for Cuomo instead. But the former governor was unable to mount a successful political comeback 4 years after he resigned in the face of sexual harassment allegations, which he denies. Ambitious agenda. Mamdani, who was criticized throughout the campaign for his thin resume, will now have to begin staffing his incoming administration before taking office next year and game out how he plans to accomplish the ambitious but polarizing agenda that drove him to victory. Among the campaign's other promises are city-run grocery stores and a new Department of Community Safety that would send mental health care workers to handle certain emergency calls rather than police officers. It is unclear how Mamdani will pay for such initiatives, given Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul's steadfast opposition to his calls to raise taxes on wealthy people.